passes all ready for you guys. A couple of things before we start. Please silence your cell phones. No loud talking. Loud laughing is okay. No photos, especially flash photography. It kind of disrupts the actor sometimes. And eat quietly and no burping. At intermission or even after the show, if you guys like the music, my sister has her CDs out there. They're $10, but the CDs of all the songs in the show are available today. Some think that this play was inspired by something called Hamilton. I'm not really aware of that, but that's fine. But unlike that play, we strive here to be historically correct and period correct. Okay, that's a little high, but that's fine. We are, however, I am unable to be politically correct. I just never been able to. So let me start. 407 years ago, my older sister Jill was born.
I get such a kick out of you. Or is it that I want to kick you? I think that's you know, bro, you can be as rude or politically, historically incorrect as you want to be. And you know why? Because this is America. Get it, Dale? We live in America, land of the free, where I'll fight for your right to be who you want to be.
gentlemen. I have traveled here from the afterlife to share a very important chapter in American history. Now, before you start asking me about the afterlife, let me just say I'm not at liberty to give you any details. But I can tell you this. Once you die, it gets really hot. But right now, Burr, it's cold. Let me introduce myself. As you can probably tell from my charming personality and, of course, my good looks, I'm a politician. I'm also the subject of one of Broadway's greatest musicals. Or at least one of the most expensive tickets. I'm well-mannered and friendly, therefore I am not Aaron Burr. That man was the most obnoxious, arrogant, condescending man I have ever met. Even our first great president, George Washington, said that few could match Burr's intrigue, deception, and secrecy. That man was the burr in my butt from the day we met. He was born into privilege, given all the advantages, and he appreciated none of it. He was one of the biggest disappointments, not only in American history, but in the history of the world. I digress. Honestly, there was one thing Burr was good at. He could shoot straight. Now that's a hint. Now do you know who I am? Drum roll, please. My name is Alex Hamilton. You should all know me by now. Some call me Alexander. Call me Al. I'm the son of a lady who died young. I never knew my real dad, but I can guarantee that he was a better dad than Burr ever had. Myself, I'm a founding father, and what I'm proud of founding most are the Federalist Party, the Bank of New York, the Coast Guard, and the New York Post. I was Secretary of the Treasury, and that's not all. I practiced law until the day that Burr shot me. My face is still on the $10 bill, and it's gonna stay that way. Oh, and that Broadway musical named after me, it's 1,000 times better than this damn play. I had 8 kids, a heck of a lot more than Burr himself ever got. Looking back, all I lack is which have been a better shot.
Stop that awful noise. What in the world are you doing? I thought this was supposed to be a musical where you sing, not where you ramble and rhyme and scream and chant. Don't make the audience enjoy that awful noise. We're supposed to be portraying the dignity and culture of the 1700s, for God's sakes, not the humming and grunting of the Jurassic period. Let's hear something gentle on the ears. Let's hear some Beethoven or Bach, or maybe even some Mozart. Now that's music.
I remember you. We met at your house during the war.
I am Theodosia Burr, Aaron Burr's wife and love of his life. My husband Aaron was a special man. He loved me just the way I am. He always took good care of me, helped me raise a family. I was married once before and had 5 kids. We had 5 more. I only wish I could have lived to see his rise to fame or infamy.
Woo!
Now, isn't that much better?
H to the E to the double L. No!
Let's get started. You know Alexander.
It's Mr. Hamilton to you.
Okay, Alex.
Mr. Hamilton.
Well, Al, you're right. Aaron was born into privilege. His grandfather was the famous evangelist Jonathan Edwards, who famously said from the pulpit, "Lord, stamp eternity on my eyeballs." His father, Aaron Burr Sr., also a minister, was the founder of the College of New Jersey. You may better know it as Princeton University. Burry, that was my nickname for him, was born on February 6, 1756, in the beautiful town of Newark, New Jersey. But that privilege you claim did not last long. Both of his parents died before he was 2 years old. They went to live with their maternal grandparents, and then they both died within a year, leaving them orphans. My poor Burry was only 3 years old.
Boo, hoo, hooey. People died a lot back then.
They die just as often now.
I'm his rich, privileged family pampered him.
His uncle, Timothy Edwards, who was only 20 years old at the time, took both of them in. It did not go well.
That's what happens when you invite privileged brats into your house.
I'm not surprised you live in hot weather. His Uncle Tim was a most severe and strict man. He raised my furry bear with an iron fist. But there is one thing that you might appreciate that he taught him. He taught him to shoot straight. At the age of 13, he applied for and was accepted admittance to the prestigious Princeton University.
I'm sure it helped that his daddy founded the university. I bet he was a snowflake, you know, one of those delicate, sensitive types. Every time something goes wrong, he need a safe space, keep him protected.
He only attended Princeton for 3 years.
Dropout, probably a stoner.
No, at the age of 16, he graduated with honors. He was all set to carry on the family legacy as a Presbyterian minister. And then the world changed forever.
Oh, this isn't that global warming crap again, is it?
No, this is the beginning of not only one of the most influential events in American history, but in the history of the world.
Oh, just a minute, I need to take this.
You have a cell phone? This is 1775. I thought we were going to be historically correct.
Hey, it's an iPhone. I just got an upgrade. You can't go back. When did he say that? Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Shall I continue?
No, that was Paul Revere. The British are coming.
Montgomery, we have successfully captured Montreal. Now we will lead our troops further into Canada, march straight to Quebec, and capture the city.
It won't be an easy mission. The British troops are tough and well-trained.
As sure as my name is Benedict Arnold, I know we can overcome those redcoats with ease. Once they see our men attack, they will rush to take the first boat back to England. The British have little courage or honor.
I'm glad we have courageous and honorable soldiers like you, General Benedict Arnold, to lead our men.
So kind and generous of you to say. Yes, I am courageous and honorable. But there is a change of plans. You will be leading the charge. I'm going to stay in the back so I can deal with any administrative issues.
Greetings, General Benedict Arnold, General Montgomery, Aaron Burr, reporting for service.
Ah, Burr, the young prodigy. I'm glad you chose our regiment to start your service.
I didn't choose this regiment, sir. I was assigned here. I hoped to serve under George Washington, but the waiting list was just too long.
You'll be much happier here. Washington isn't that great of a leader. And his top staff, they're even worse. His top man, Alexander Hamilton, he's a real jerk.
I bet he's not so bad.
Do you know George Washington has wooden teeth? And they're full of termites. He'll deny, but he lies all the time. Anyway, Burr, what kind of work did you do before joining the army?
I didn't work, sir.
You didn't work? I bet you were a spoiled brat living in your parents' cellar playing Pokemon all day.
That's not true. I played Call of Duty. I used to play Pac-Man, but it got a little boring.
So, if you didn't work, and you're not a professional gamer, how did you spend your time?
I attended Princeton University.
Oh, I assume you studied military history, learned the best ways to assess enemy's position, learned how to strategize and lead troops to victory.
No, I studied religion with a minor in gender studies.
Religion. Religion.
I'm well prepared. They fight a lot in the Bible.
Brilliant! Welcome to our regiment. Let's waste no time in getting you involved, Captain Burr. You are going to take part in our new attack against the Brits. You are going to be part of our great invasion of Canada. We are going to capture the city of Quebec.
But why do we want to capture Quebec? They don't even speak English.
Burr, I suggest you not criticize your commanding officers. Disagreements can have negative consequences. Can you imagine a country where half the citizens argue and disagree with the commander-in-chief? These are the United States, and we need to stay united.
Yeah, that's great advice, General. We're Americans. We're on the same page. Anyway, let's go over our attack to defeat the Brits. You leave at dawn.
Attention!
Montgomery, stand when a superior officer enters the room. I'm waiting, Montgomery. Montgomery, why aren't you standing?
He, can't stand, sir. He's not doing so well.
Well, what's wrong with him?
He's, dead.
He's not dead. He just took a drink from his flask.
He is dead, sir. He just has a, hard time giving up liquor. He has a hard time giving up that, too.
I can smell that.
General Montgomery and I fought bravely for our lives and the lives of our fellow American patriots during the Battle of Quebec. Our bravery was inspiring, yet he was brutally shot and killed. I survived, but I couldn't leave him there on that cold and bloody battlefield. So, at the risk of death and capture, I carried him back here from that battlefield. And I will carry him back to America if necessary. He deserves a hero's burial.
Well, whatever. So, Captain Burr, tell me, how did the rest of the attack go?
Yes, sir. What would you like to know?
How many British soldiers did we capture?
We took no captives, sir.
Shouldn't have been that brutal, Captain. You should have spared some of those darn yellow-bellied, red-coated lobsterbacks if you could. You never know when one of them might see the light and come over to the blue side. The Continental News Network, CNN, is always predicting a new blue wave. Our campaign against Quebec surely confirmed that.
No, General Benedict Arnold. We didn't capture Quebec.
What? I told you to attack the city hard.
We did. The British fought back hard.
They always fight back hard at first. You just have to throw everything you have at them. Soon enough, they crumble.
We did that, sir.
Did you go
To the left.
And then
to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. We did all that, sir. We couldn't move their position.
Now that you mention it, they are an imposing army.
And then they attacked back, guns firing. Those brilliantly pressed red coats with the flashy, well-polished buttons against the white snow. It blinded us. Only a few of us escaped. If we wait any longer, we'll soon be captured.
Now that you mention it, they are a well-led army. Their soldiers are devoted to king and country. And those redcoats do reflect the sun brilliantly.
They outflanked us. They attacked from the left and the right, and they devastated our army. Our soldiers' blue coats all started turning red.
I shouldn't have assumed we would win. They seem to be a superior force, and they certainly are better dressed.
They won the battle, sir.
My respect for the British grows each day.
I can, see that, sir.
Should I wear my coat on the red side or the blue?
Which color looks best on you? No matter what the fashionistas say, you can't have it both ways.
Turn cold. I've made my decision. It's time for Plan B.
I'm so proud of my Burry Bear serving his country with such honor.
I'm more concerned about that song they just sang. Especially the line about Arnold's underwear.
That was rather strange. By the way, what did you think about the singer's execution?
Without a doubt, I'm in favor of his execution.
My husband's service to his country was not over. After the nearly 300-mile march invading Canada while carrying the body of General Montgomery to allow him a proper burial in America, he returned and served under the General George Washington.
Now, he was a great general.
His campaign slogan was, "I cannot tell a lie." I didn't believe a word of it. Lies and politicians are inseparable.
I was one of his top aides.
That I can believe. Birds of a feather, you know. Besides, the general did not do well early on in the war. The conditions were horrible.
There's always a price to pay to win a war.
I remember many times Aaron telling me about his first winter with the Continental Army.
Major Key, Captain Burr, thanks so much for meeting with me. As you know, I have some grave concerns about our situation here at Valley Forge.
The troops are hungry.
Yeah.
And Burr, right here, sir. Burr is cold. Yes, it is.
Troops are deserting every day, but worst of all, we are not doing a thing to address and or improve the situation. And
Burr, right here, sir. It's cold. We get the joke, Minor Key. No, Major, remember? Major. We get the joke, Major Key. Can we please focus on how to help the troops here at Valley Forge? Colonel Corn.
as commanders of the troops here at Valley Forge, I think we need to voice our concerns to General Washington. Let the general know the poor morale of the troops and offer a plan of action to the general.
Generally, I agree with you.
First of all, we get Key to stop with the jokes. Then, we march to the east. We outflank the Brits. And then we attack without mercy.
We may want to show some restraint.
Why would we want to show restraint? If we don't take action soon, we will lose the respect of the troops. We will lose the respect of the American people. We will lose this war.
Consider this. Washington has a big ego. If you want him to agree, you need to make him think it was his idea. Otherwise, I guarantee it won't go well. If you challenge Washington, you might be demoted.
But if we do nothing, we will most likely die.
True. But more importantly, I would still be a major.
As long as he doesn't bring that lackey Hamilton with him. That man's arrogance drives me nuts.
Well, you and Hamilton are a lot alike.
I can agree with that.
Attention! Good day, General Washington.
At ease, gentlemen. Colonel Corn, I'm here for the briefing on our current situation. Captain Burr, Major Key, you are dismissed.
Wait, General, now, I asked them to come. I wanted them here. They are constantly with the troops and can tell us about any problems and concerns the troops might have.
Very well. Captain Burr, Major Key, sit down. Before we get started, does anybody have a toothpick? Ever since my dentist gave me these cherry wood teeth, I've had nothing but problems. Oak would have been so much much better, but my wife didn't want me to spend the money. She kept saying, we have all kinds of cherry trees in the backyard. So I chopped one down.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you, Colonel Corn. I appreciate you being prepared.
Sorry I'm late, General. Oh, I see Burr's here. Must be a court-martial.
Yes, it is. It's yours.
No court-martials yet, Hamilton. Burr and Key were just about to tell us what the troops are experiencing and what they're thinking.
I guess that might be important.
Now, I want you gentlemen to be completely honest with me. Can you do that?
I cannot tell a lie, sir.
General Washington, that man is stealing your lies.
Sorry, sir.
I can tell a lie, General. It's how I got to be major.
Go ahead, Captain Burr.
Sir, the conditions are miserable. The troops are miserable. If nothing is done, I fear there will be a miserable end to this war. I fear the Redcoats will prevail. Time is running out in the minds of the troops.
Burr is right.
If that's true, there's a first time for everything.
Not only are we having problems supplying and feeding the troops, the rate of desertion is reaching a critical level. What Captain Burr didn't tell you is that he had to squash an attempted mutiny a couple of days ago. Thank you, Captain Burr.
Sir, I think I've come up with a plan. We send a small company of troops to the east to outflank the Brits. Then, while the Redcoats are distracted, we attack with all our remaining strength to the south. If this works, not only can we re-energize our troops, but we can embolden the entire cause of our nation's independence.
I agree with General Washington.
I haven't said anything yet. But I like the way you think.
General Washington, we are ready to act on your orders.
I have grave concerns about launching a new attack.
Especially if Burr's leading the troops. The man can't even shoot straight.
The British are an imposing force, and they have pushed us back. I fear another loss would have a catastrophic effect on not only our cause, but our cause. Therefore, I think we should wait until the winter is over and then reconsider our situation.
But, sir, we must do something. Inaction will be our death. Captain Burr, explain to the general. Make him understand.
You say you will, but you won't.
You say you can, but you won't.
Meanwhile, life passing you by. It don't take a genius to figure out why.
Inaction is your reaction
To the fear of getting it wrong.
If you find you're aching for the road not taken, what are you waiting for? You can't regret what you haven't done yet. So be open the door. We're at war.
I hear you say there's always tomorrow.
That's not vain till tomorrow doesn't come.
What happens then? What happens when the door closes forever? And you can never do or undo what you haven't done.
You say you want to, but you don't dare.
You really like to try, but they're scared.
Isn't it time to get rid of that disguise and see yourself honestly through your own eyes?
for your input, gentlemen. I think we'll follow through and execute Burr's plan. Oh, I mean execute my plan.
Thank you, sir.
Captain Burr, for squashing the troops' mutiny and coming to me with not only problems but solutions, you are now a Major Burr.
Thank you, General. I couldn't have done it without most everyone's support.
Also, I've noticed that you're honest, the troops respect you, and you have such nice teeth.
General Washington, may I have a word with you?
Well done, Burr. I appreciate all you have done.
Hamilton has a good point. Burr, you did not let me take credit for the plan or the strategy. Therefore, I am transferring you to a new division to serve under Colonel Malcolm.
General, that's...
Sit down, Burr. I cannot stand you anymore. That is all.
Bye-bye, Burry. Maybe we'll run into each other sometime down the road.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Burr.
That man really pisses me off.
Which one?
Both of them. I tell them the truth and they transfer me to another unit. Maybe I need to go out there and give them a piece of my mind. Maybe we need to settle this like men.
No, I don't think that is a good idea. You allow disagreement to lead to an angry and even violent confrontation. You rarely resolve the issue. Even if you win, it often leads to more severe problems. You might even be called a bully.
Call me what you will, but a man of honor doesn't back down. Brr. What? It's cold.
Obviously, he didn't take that tremendous and incredible advice about keeping his anger and emotions under control. Poor Burry.
Honestly, Mr. Hamilton, history shows us that you continue to challenge Burr's good name and dignity. Oh, and history also shows us that you paid the price for your stupidity.
I dare you to come out here and say that to my face.
Here I am. What's your next dare?
Who the heck are you?
Why, I am Theodosia.
Well, either you're lying or that woman out here earlier was a fraud.
Neither are true. I am Theodosia Burr Alston, the daughter of Aaron and Theodosia Burr, obviously named after my mother.
Geez, how many Theodosias can there be?
We're the only two that I'm aware of. The name didn't gain much popularity.
So why did your mother leave? Was she overwhelmed by my insights into her husband Burry's obnoxious personality?
She left because, like me, she hates your guts. And neither of us thought my father was the obnoxious one. Well, my mother might have thought that from time to time, but I'll always think that. She also left because, well, she was getting ready for the next scene. Speaking of my mother, did you know she was once married to a British officer?
Her first husband was a Brit? I suppose the Continental Army caught up with him.
No. He survived the revolution, but during the war, Mother had to stay back in New Jersey, the house under American control. And although her husband was a redcoat, she sided with the American cause. She actually welcomed a lot of patriots into our home.
Including me.
She never mentioned that you were a patriot, but there was Ben Franklin, Sam Adams, and her favorite patriot, Tom Brady. Anyway, that's where she met Daddy. After the war, her first husband had to be sent to the West Indies where he died of yellow fever. But that just opened the door for them to start courting.
Nothing like a little yellow fever to kickstart a romance. Actually, I'm sorry to say, well, Actually, I'm not sorry to say this. They were courting well before then. Prior to husband one dying, they were together quite often and alone quite often. It was quite the scandal.
They married in 1782.
Yeah, only 6 months after her first husband died.
Shut up. Mother already had 5 children, and Dad welcomed them all into his life. Then I was born in 1783. Mother had 4 more children after me, but none lived through childhood. But despite all that, oh, she was so compassionate and caring. Well, you know, except that sometimes she got a little upset with Daddy.
A lot of upset with Aaron Burr many a time.
And the last time ended with a bang, didn't it? Daddy always wanted women to stand up for themselves, and that's what he loved most about Mother. But sometimes things would really heat up, and Mom would get triggered. But I bet you know a lot about that too now, don't you, Alex? Daddy triggered you as well.
Very funny.
And then, when I was only 11 years old, Mother became quite ill.
My darling Theodosia, it is so nice to be back home. So nice to get away from all that political bullcrap. Most importantly, it is so nice to finally be able to spend time with you.
You've been gone for almost 2 weeks. Now that I think about it, all the men I marry are like that. Hubby one would come home and say, "Oh, hi, Theodosia. It's nice to see you. I'm off to the West Indies." And now hubby two comes home and says, "Oh, hi, Theodosia. You look lovely. I'm off to New York."
Yeah. And it's so nice to get hugs and kisses from all the children.
There's more to raising children than just hugs and kisses, you know. How about you start doing the dishes or changing diapers?
And then maybe I can get some hugs and kisses from you too.
We have 10 kids. No more hugs and kisses. Naturally, I thought you had forgotten about me, and honestly, I'd forgotten. Where did you go?
It was my New York Senate election, dear.
That's right, the election. Okay, let's get this over with. How did it go?
The people of the great state of New York made their choice, and the right one, I might add.
So who won?
To sum things up, I won. I am now the senator of the great state of New York.
Congratulations, Burry. So you beat up Alexander Hamilton?
Not quite that good, but I beat up his father-in-law, Philip Schuyler.
That's so wonderful. Now you'll be gone more often. I won't be home to help around the house. And I have to make sure that the kids do their homework and keep them in line. I can't even keep track of how many kids we have around here.
Our success in achieving this dream are not without a price. My darling Theodosia, now that I'm the senator for the great state of New York, I'm going to be busier and gone more often. I owe much of my success to you.
On the contrary, you owe almost all of it to me. And now I have to deal with that ego of yours. Shall I go on? I shall. You may be the senator and man of the New York Senate House, but I am the man of this house. Honestly, Burry, your insufferable ego is going to get you in trouble someday, and not just with me.
A big ego is a must, especially in New York. A big ego is needed to carry such grand ideas.
And then you come home and pay little attention to me. For the sake of our marriage, we need to work together as a team. And if we're going to work together as a team, you need to do what I say.
Let's not fight. Let's not ruin the moments we have together. And we will work together as a team.
Oh, Burry, I do love you. Tell me about the election.
It was a great night. You should have seen seen the look on Philip Schuyler's face when he realized I had beaten him.
I wish I could have been there, but obviously I had to be here. What did that Alex guy have to say? I bet he wasn't happy.
Hamilton was pissed. He never dreamed I could unseat his father-in-law. Okay, maybe I rubbed it in just a little bit too. Hamilton thinks that he and his friends and family represent the future of this country. What they don't know is that in a very short time, they will be completely forgotten. No one will even recognize him.
That reminds me, do you have a $10 bill? I need to pay the maid for the month. Do you have another one?
I'll go to the bank.
Oh, wait. Back to that Hamilton guy. I don't trust him. I've seen him get upset from time to time, vindictive even. I'm afraid if you two have another conflict that things might explode.
Don't worry about him. He won't press forward. After last night, he realizes that if he confronts me too often, his political career will be over.
Let's stop talking about politics. I have something I need to share with you. The doctor came by today. Do you remember I was telling you about the pain I was having?
Of course I remember. How could I forget? Where was it?
In my stomach.
And was the doctor able to relieve the pain?
No, Aaron. He doesn't believe he's ever going to be able to relieve the pain.
We'll get another doctor. I'm a U.S. Senator now. We get the best health care the people can afford.
He believes the disease will only get worse. My time left here might be short.
My darling Theodosia, you must continue to fight. The children need you. Our darling daughter needs you. And most of all, I need you.
Whatever my destiny, you will do fine. I'm so proud of you, Aaron. And now you're a New York senator. And despite your ego, I have such faith that you will hold this family together when I'm gone. The way that you've taken care of my children as your own has been amazing.
They're part of my family.
Soon, Burry, I will not be here. Fortunately, tragedy isn't something foreign to me. I live with the consequences every day. I don't expect it'll ever go away. Come to accept it as part of who I am. Try to understand it best I can. Obviously, take care of the children, I will rest in peace better knowing that I have your commitment.
Anything you need, I will do.
Oh, Burry, you're so wonderful. Here's my list.
Wow, that is quite large.
You've been such an inspiration to Theodosia, giving her all the opportunities that men have, sending her to school with the brightest minds. It's almost as if you believe men and women are equal.
You exaggerate a little. One day, women may be close to equal.
Despite all I said earlier, you are the best thing that's ever happened to me. You just showed up too late, and I'm leaving too soon. But that's life. It isn't always fair.
So, did she die?
Really? This happened over 200 years ago, and you're asking me if she died.
Some people live a really long time. Besides, I was trying to find her in my neighborhood, you know, down there. I couldn't find her.
Well, what the hell? Really surprising, but good news too. Daddy wanted to take leave from the Senate during Mother's illness, but she wouldn't allow that. She insists he honor his commitment to his nation. Mother died of cancer in 1794, and oh, Daddy was heartbroken. But despite his grief, he was still the greatest dad ever. He insisted I attend all the best schools, and was even one of the first politicians to support women's rights, including voting. Soon, his political career started to skyrocket, and he was on the ballot to be president of the United States!
That's only because the people didn't nominate the president, the politicians did. Aaron Burr was the biggest brown-nosing, bootlicking, arrogant suck-up I ever met. And he was nasty. Needless to say, the politicians loved him. He fit right in.
Mr. Hamilton, I demand you take that back right now.
If the people voted and not the politicians, they would never elect someone like him to the presidency.
If you continue, we're going to have to take this outside and handle it like men. Do you still have your pistols?
Are you challenging me to a duel?
All I'm saying is, don't mess with the Burr.
Okay, I take back what I said about your daddy being arrogant, but he was so freaking self-important.
In 1800, the elected politicians of each state, not the general public, decided who would be on the presidential ballot. After the selection of 2 candidates were made, the U.S. Congress would vote on those 2.
Your daddy used every trick in the book to gain the New York legislature's support so that he and Jefferson, both of the Democratic-Republican Party, would be the final 2 candidates.
Well, fortunately and obviously, your Federalist Party did not have much to offer.
We had President John Adams and Charles Pinckney, both far superior to that of Burr and Jefferson even wanted to maintain closer allies with the French. We, the ones that guillotined their king.
And your Federalist Party wanted to ignore the whole reason for the revolution and create their own upper-class monarchy. Daddy fought you every step of the way.
We knew if the Dems won, it would just be a disaster. Can you imagine a presidential election where you don't want either candidate to win? James.
Yes, James Madison. Just call me Madison.
James Monroe. Call me Monroe.
And we'll call you Thomas.
Call me Jefferson. Gentlemen, the stress over this election is really building. I thought that the legislature would have cast the final vote by now. They can't be considering those damn Federalists.
Yeah, I wanted to get the party started early.
Doesn't the legislature know that the country is at a crossroads? They need to decide quickly. The Federalists must not win.
Only our party will support the fundamentals of the Constitution and the importance of states' rights. The Federalists have led us back to the English way of life. You know, where the ruling class calls all the shots.
We revolted from that philosophy. We beat the British so the common man could choose his own destiny.
If the Federalists win, Adams will become King John.
A Federalist victory would lead us back to a life of the aristocracy ruling the people. The only way to describe that would be disaster.
A disaster led by the ideas of John Adams.
Don't forget Alexander Hamilton.
Don't worry, I won't forget him.
What are we going to do?
We need to stay strong and move forward in the right direction. States' rights.
Limited government.
Power to the people.
Things must change. We must stop the few from continuing to control the lives of the many.
Where did the Jameses go?
You mean Madison and Monroe?
Yeah, I like those two. Hopefully they will one day be leading this party and this nation.
You mean after me?
No, after me.
I don't think either of those two will amount to much. They just don't have a presidential personality.
I guess we're simply not arrogant enough.
Hey everyone, I just received a text. I mean a phone call.
You mean a courier's message?
Yes, a courier from the election center just delivered a message.
And?
Why don't you tell them, Monroe?
Sure, Madison. Well, we won. We swept the election.
That is wonderful news. The people have spoken.
In reality, it was the legislature, thanks to my influence, that secured the victory.
The people have spoken. We no longer have to deal with the oppression and arrogance of the Federalist nobility.
Our party will now belong to the poor as well as the rich.
We are the Democratic Republican Party.
And the Democratic Republican Party will be forever united. The Democratic Republican Party will never be split. We cannot be trumped.
This is the most incredible time ever. We are just magnificent.
And we will have the biggest and bestest crowd for Jefferson's inauguration that the world has ever seen.
Yes, united forever.
What do you mean, Jefferson's inauguration? The Congress must now decide which one of us will be president.
Don't you remember? We agreed that if I, Thomas Jefferson, were placed on the ballot by the legislature for the presidential election, then I, Thomas Jefferson, would be the third president of the United States.
It's really irrelevant who the vice would be. We all knew and agreed that Thomas Jefferson would be president.
I don't remember those details. I lobbied the legislature to assure a party victory, not for an individual victory. I was in the tobacco shop yesterday, and I had a vision of a great future for America under my leadership.
That is a pipe dream.
All I know is, it's between you and me, and the final vote is up to the U.S. Congress. It'll be pretty easy to get the Federalists to support me. They, hate you. All I have to do is promise them something in return.
That sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Two can play at that game. Jameses, let's go to work. So, where do we stand on the vote?
The Congress has voted 35 times and still no winner.
I guess I still have a little work to do.
Well, then maybe I can help.
I didn't expect any help from you.
And you'd be correct. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to assist Mr. Jefferson.
Me? Hamilton, we haven't agreed on one thing in 20 years.
That's about to change. But I think there's one thing we can agree on. That this man, Aaron Burr, is an ass.
Well, you are correct on that assumption.
I also think the legislature would be interested to know that despite the law prohibiting non-citizens from owning land, Aaron Burr has been working around that law and has been instrumental in granting real estate loans to the Holland Land Company.
Oh my God, don't you know those damn Dutch are illegal aliens?
Build the wall!
And he introduced legislature in New York to grant women the right to vote.
He is a radical.
Given this man's current activities and his arrogant demeanor, I have been able to convince my federal allies to withdraw their support of Aaron Burr. Mr. Jefferson, I can assure you that after the next vote, you will be the third president of the United States.
Oh, Mr. Hamilton, thank you for your help and support. It is remarkable how two men can overcome their differences.
The best way for two men to overcome their differences is to find someone they can hate in common.
Well, thank you, Mr. Burr.
Alexander Hamilton, I cannot believe that you, even with your pathetic character, could sink so low. You have shamed me, my reputation, and my country. Even though I try, I know I can't go on living this way. Something's gotta give. I can't live like this, not even one more day.
Time to make a change, cause the strange gonna bring unhappiness. If I don't do something soon, I'll be doomed to negotiate stress. Gotta get a handle on this. No one else is ever doing for me. Time to get real and be honest. Time to face reality. I can do this, go through this fine line. Been a while. Contact me anytime you want, but you will never get an apology from me.
You will apologize or face the consequences.
Bring it on, I have nothing to fear.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, off the record, I just wanted to tell you that you shouldn't believe most things that you hear in this play. If it, at any point, portrays Aaron Burr in a positive manner, it is at best misleading. No, it's a flat-out lie. Honestly, the guy who wrote this play didn't do his research. Aaron Burr was the worst vice president ever. He was so bad, I had the rules changed so that from then on, the president chose his running mate. And Burr and Hamilton's relationship never improved. Each man felt wronged by the other, and neither were willing to turn the other cheek. Everyone could see that those two men were headed towards a major confrontation, a full-speed, head-on collision. Now, your first instinct is to step in and calm things down and avoid the disaster. But in this case, I was quite okay with a head-on collision. If neither survived, America and the world would be in a far, far better place. Unfortunately, I only got half my wish.
So, do you really think the coward's gonna show up?
There were a lot of things I would call Aaron Burr. Egotist, arrogant, know-it-all. Shall I go on?
Please don't.
Now that I
Haughty, cocky, obnoxious.
Now that I think about it, Hamilton, you and Burr have a lot in common.
You had better hope he is a coward, but I am convinced he is not. I fear if he shows up, you will be in for a bit of trouble.
Perhaps you're right, but I've taken some action to help me out here. Madison, come over here. I want to make sure I have this right. If I move this lever towards the barrel, that activates the hair trigger, right?
Yes.
Okay, keep an eye on the guns until he arrives, and make sure I get the one with the lever.
There is one thing the two of you don't have in common. Aaron Burr is not a cheater.
So, tell me again why we had to travel so far to have this duel. There's a great park right in central New York City with great scenery for a duel. Granted, there are a bunch of kids usually playing, but we can push them aside till the shooting is done.
Duels are illegal in New York, can you believe it?
Those damn liberals. Always trying to tell you how to act. Always trying to keep everyone from being bullied. Always inserting the definition of morality. If you just let people settle their arguments by shooting at each other, things would be better off and everyone would be just fine.
Unless you're the one that gets shot. But, just so you know, duels are illegal in New Jersey now, too. But no one really cares. It's Jersey.
Hamilton, you should practice with this gun before Burr arrives. This hair trigger you asked for really changes how the gun works. And trying it out a few times will certainly increase your comfort level.
That's probably a good idea, but it'll have to wait. Here he comes now.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Hamilton.
Good afternoon, Burr. Madison, do you have the guns ready?
I do. Here you go.
Wait, that's wrong.
Right. Here's your gun, Hamilton. And here's yours, Burr.
Before we go any further, can we rethink the necessity of ending your disagreements with this duel? You two are both very prominent people in our new nation. The whole country will be upset.
Really? Everyone that I've talked to is really looking forward to the duel. As long as the right man wins, they have no problem with it.
Tell them not to worry. I I will live stream out the whole story after the tremendous duel.
Gentlemen, I'm always willing to resolve this in a more mature manner. Hamilton has published charges against my reputation, calling me a self-indulgent womanizer, a dangerous man who cannot be trusted with the reins of government. Retract those lies and charges in writing, and we can avoid this whole duel.
I have retracted every lie I've said about you.
But Hamilton, you have retracted nothing.
It's all true. There were no lies to retract.
Oh, then we have no choice but to move forward. Let's get started.
Maybe we should at least consider doing the right thing.
We should do the right thing.
Some men are wise,
It's not the right time. We can talk about that later.
and some men are otherwise.
I'm geek. Let the best man win.
I'm sure I will.
Is everyone ready?
When I was young, I took a vow, speak the truth, come what may. If I knew then what I know now, I might have chosen a different way.
Sometimes it's wise to tell little lies, then end things with a spark. But I realize how compromise is truly a fine art. Take life a step at a time. Find your own rhythm and rhyme. Learn how to go with the flow, and you'll be fine. Take life a step at a time. Try to keep an open mind. Reality looks differently depending whose side you're on.
You missed! No, he didn't. I don't miss.
I don't think he's dead yet, but the wound is bad. Pretty unlikely he'll survive.
You, need me to do anything else? Want me to put a couple more rounds in him? Put him out of his misery?
It's a single-shot pistol, you moron.
I'm standing next to you with a gun, and you're calling me a moron? Madison, maybe you better look in the mirror to find the moron. I can always reload.
I think you've done plenty. More than enough. But I can tell you this. Your boss, you know, that Jefferson guy, won't be happy.
He would be happier if we were both dead, but obviously that didn't happen.
We will be reporting back to him shortly. I suggest you avoid him.
I'm on my way out as vice president anyway. Jefferson picked some suck-up to be on the ticket as the new vice. I've only got a few months left in office. I'll just take an early vacation. Bye-bye, Hammy.
This event will most certainly change history.
You fool, you can't change the past.
You're wrong. The people who write history books can change the past.
Someone help me out here, I'm not quite dead yet.
Oh yeah, forgot about him. Monroe, take him back to his home in New York and let him rest in peace.
Aaron's life was never the same after that fateful day. Now that I think about it, Hamilton's wasn't really the same either.
He was dead.
Aaron still had his daughter and a few friends, but most of American society turned up their noses at him. Now I'm sure one or two of you are wondering where the Hamilton guy went. I'm covering for him while he attends his own funeral.
Okay, I'm back. The funeral didn't take that long. Fewer people show up the second time you die. Wait a minute. Who the heck are you? And I hope you're not another obnoxious Theodosia.
Don't include me with those doting Burr women. I am Eliza Jamel, and some would say that I am the love of Aaron Burr's life. I, however, strongly disagree. My money was the love of his life. We'll get to that later.
Finally! Someone I think I might like. Maybe we can be friends.
Why insult me like that? You're a loser. Aaron might have had his faults, but he's still the one who won, wasn't he?
Hey, my gun went off early.
After the duel, Aaron decided he needed a break from American society. His friends convinced him to go west. Middle-aged man.
He claimed he needed a break, but...
Stop right there. My Aunt Polly always told me that anything that comes before a but is just bullcrap.
But after Burr and me, he went out west to set up a kingdom.
With you, anything that comes after a but is the same bullcrap.
And with the help of another sketchy character, Andrew Jackson, he started to amass an army and help the Mexican rebels throw the Spaniards out of the country.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Except that it violated the Neutrality Act of 1794, which guaranteed that a U.S. citizen would not attack another country that was at peace with the U.S. Jefferson was pissed.
Jefferson was always pissed. He insisted that Aaron be arrested and brought to trial for treason. It was the most dramatic trial in U.S. history.
I think O.J. Simpson would disagree with that.
Cassidy, you missed your cue.
I know I miss my cue. I always fall fancy girl. And you know, she's...
Order in the court. I'm now prepared to hear closing arguments.
I've got this. Justice Marshall, there's no need for closing arguments. As president, I have already decided that this man, Aaron Burr, committed treason against the United States. I have made this proclamation to the Congress and to the American people.
Guilt or innocence is not for the president to decide.
I will, however, grant you the discretion to choose the method of execution.
Mr. Jefferson, didn't you write the Constitution?
No, he did not. I did. James Madison. I wrote it. Everyone always gives Jefferson the credit.
To refresh your memory, Mr. Jefferson, the Constitution protects individual rights. It prevents the overstepping of government against its citizens. I suspect the word government includes the President of the United States.
It certainly does. That was my intention.
Regardless, Burr is guilty of treason.
I shall decide that.
And we need to punish Burr for murdering my good friend, Alexander Hamilton.
Mr. Jefferson, first of all, Aaron Burr is not on trial for his duel with Hamilton. Secondly, you and Hamilton hated each other. Now let's move on to the matter before the court.
Justice Marshall.
That's Chief Justice Marshall.
Well, Chief Justice Marshall.
Hey!
I knew Adams concerning your conduct as a teenager, confirmation should never have occurred.
Those allegations were never proven.
I have planned the entire prosecution of this case, and I will begin my closing argument. Aaron Burr, a.k.a. Traitor Man, planned to provoke a rebellion in Spanish-held parts of the West in order to form an independent nation with Traitor Man as king. This would not only harm Spain, but involve seizing of U.S. property as well. The testimony of his accomplice, General Wilkinson, should alone be enough to condemn Traitor Man.
Luther Martin, as Mr. Burr's attorney, did you want to say anything?
Thank you, Justice Marshall. First of all, Judge, it was nice having lunch with you today and catching up on old times.
Yes, it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, and thank you for treating.
As to the defense of this case, General Wilkinson's claims have been proven to be false, or at the very least incredibly trumped up, beyond any credibility. The documents he provided to substantiate his claims of Mr. Burr's treachery were forged. It was proved that this letter from Burr was actually in Wilkinson's handwriting. And finally, Wilkinson's sole motivation in blaming Burr was to save his own skin.
The forgery is a minor issue. I can assure you all of the allegations in that letter, or at least most of them, are very true.
Please sit down, Mr. Jefferson.
It's President Jefferson.
In my courtroom, you are Mr. Jefferson. Please proceed, Mr. Martin.
The charges against my client are nothing but fake news. Mr. Jefferson has greatly exceeded his authority with these tremendously exaggerated charges. Aaron Burr was only trying to make America great.
Again?
No. For the first time. He was never great.
You do realize if you continue to attack the honor of the president, I shall be forced to charge you with treason as well?
Bailiff!
Okay, I'll sit down, geez.
My client may have made statements that some might consider inappropriate. However, he had no intent to be disloyal to his country. Words alone are not enough to convict someone of treason. He made no action nor directed any action to be taken that would be considered treasonous.
Aaron Burr's words are enough to convict him.
May I quote something, Your Honor?
Proceed.
Congress shall make no laws abridging the freedom of speech. Do you recognize these words, Jefferson?
Vaguely.
It's the U.S. Constitution. You wrote that, didn't you?
No, he did not. I did. James Madison, I wrote it.
For the record, I wrote the Declaration of Independence.
But you signed the Constitution, didn't you?
Well, no. I was in France at the time.
But you supported it.
Well, mostly. I really didn't have time to read the whole thing.
You advocate for free speech until you disagree with the content of that speech. How honorable is that? Mr. Jefferson, words alone are not treasonous. My client is innocent. That is all I have, Your Honor.
Well, that's it? Oh, that's your defense? Oh, Justice Marshall, can we please have the officers take Burr to the gallows now?
Just 1 second. I'm still deciding the verdict.
Well, maybe we can help. Mr. Burr, you're here for one reason. You've been charged with the crime of high treason. You've been declared guilty by the press. Even our own president says yes. No one seems to testify in your defense. Your buddy Benny obviously jumped the fence. I wonder whether Hamilton might have said it. But no, that's right. You shot him dead. So why don't you just spare us all the pain? And admit
Honor, may I please address the court? My client deserves a rigorous retort. As Mr. Burr's counsel, I object to any mention of the president-elect. Jealousy began a smear campaign in an effort to tarnish Burr's good name. My client is an innocent man. There's no evidence he's part of any plan to destroy the very democracy he fought so hard to make reality. I hope this defense provides the needed punch. By the way, Judge, did you enjoy your lunch?
As the judge in this action, I declare, I didn't think Burr had a win or a prayer. Mr. Jefferson, who by the way also hates me, was determined Mr. Burr would not go free. But having listened to all the evidence, I find myself concurring with the defense. It doesn't mean Mr. Burr's name is clear, regarding his reputation's all uphill from here. It means there's enough reasonable doubt to make the president and prosecutor bow. So now, why don't you all kiss and make up?
If I have to kiss that man, I'm gonna throw up. We won, Aaron. You're a free man. You can live the rest of your life in peace. Let's get some dinner. Judge, you want to come along? It's my treat.
Can you believe that Aaron Burr gets away with treason?
There was not any evidence to convict him.
And Traitor Man Burr gets away with my murder.
Don't forget, you agreed to the duel. And since you were shot in New Jersey, New York couldn't charge Aaron. And since you died in New York, New Jersey couldn't charge him either. It's called a loophole.
No, it's called a bullet hole. You want to see?
No.
How could they let that nasty, evil Burr walk around as a free man without a care in the world?
How can you say he was a free man without a care in the world? He was reviled by many in America. In several cities, they hung him in effigy. He was harassed and bullied everywhere he went.
Oh, poor Burry. Kind of hard to give the guy who killed you sympathy, but I'm trying.
And Jefferson was obsessed with getting his revenge. Burr needed a fresh start. He needed to do something.
He didn't need a fresh start. He just needed to get away. Not only did the good people of the United States despise him for his treason, his many creditors were on his trail.
In retrospect, I should have paid more attention to that detail.
Yeah. Traitors rarely change their character.
No, I was talking about the creditor part.
Aaron Burr, the bankrupt, murderous traitor, fled for his life. I don't even think one person was upset.
Maybe one.
La 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 la. Can I get a little help out here?
Joseph, get off your butt and help me get this room straightened out. You never do anything around the house to help me. Husbands can be so difficult to deal with.
You're starting to sound a lot like your mother. At least how your father described her.
Why, thank you.
It wasn't intended to be a compliment.
Oh, Daddy is going to be here any minute, and cleanliness is our way of welcoming him. And after all he's been through, don't you think it important that we make him feel, oh, so very welcome?
No.
What do you mean?
No. It's not that hard a word to understand. Now that I'm governor of South Carolina, I need to be very aware of how I am perceived by the public. My dearest Theodosia, your father is viewed by many as a villain and a scoundrel.
Maybe so, but what is important to me is he is my father. He is family. You, on the other hand, are so frustrating. Times like this, I wouldn't mind being a widow.
I'm sorry, Theodosia. You're right. He is family. I just wanted you to be aware there may be a political, not to mention social cost to us as a result of his visit.
What are you talking about?
His visit could have severe political consequences. We might not get invited to all those fancy upper-class parties.
Oh, I never thought about that. But he's still my father.
Therefore, I would prefer that his presence in our home be kept very quiet. I certainly don't want the press to find out.
But your campaign stressed honesty. You vouch for the people. A new type of politician. One that would be transparent to the public.
Darling, you know as well as me that is just campaign correct. Once you're elected, all that changes.
Imagine a politician making promises he doesn't intend to keep. Go figure!
The first rule of politics, never reveal anything negative to the public. Deny, deny, deny.
Well, I still have faith that one day politics will change.
I am convinced it won't.
Oh, someone approaches. Oh, it's Daddy!
Please, come in.
Thank you for the warm welcome.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so glad you were exonerated. That trial was so stressful.
It was difficult to endure.
I can't believe anyone would think you a traitor. I can't believe they would try to frame you. I cannot believe how Jefferson acted. I can't believe a sitting president would be so rude and arrogant.
I can't believe the president just tweeted a bunch of crap again. What will he learn? Anyway, president or not, he is still the worst and nastiest opponent I have ever faced.
Now, wait a minute. Don't forget Hamilton. You hated him so much I shot him.
Good point, but he wasn't much of an opponent, if you know what I mean.
But that's all over now. Oh, you're in South Carolina to stay. I am just so happy. Welcome to our home.
Yes, welcome to our home. Welcome to our home. How long do you plan to stay? Did you tell anyone else you were coming?
Joseph. Go to the kitchen and check the food. I think it better you not be here right now. Oh, and go make sure the guest room is all set up for Daddy to stay.
You want me to check the food and ready the bedroom. But that is woman's work.
That was maybe women's work 200 years ago.
But right here and now is 200 years ago. This is 1808.
Just be a good boy and do as you're told.
Now that advice is timeless.
Oh, Daddy, you've been through so much. I love you dearly. You remember what you told me after Mommy died? I remember you telling us life is so tenuous. We didn't understand it then. After all we've been through since, and the loss of our innocence, wish we could go back again to a time
long do you plan to stay?
Oh, what he is trying to say is, you're welcome to stay in our home as long as you need to get over from this trauma. Isn't that right, Joseph?
Be honest.
Don't be honest.
Theodosia and Joseph, thank you so much for allowing me into your home. I've been thinking a lot about my future on the way down here.
I've been thinking about mine, too.
Due to the anger and animosity directed at me as a result of both the duel and the trial, I've decided the best course of action is to leave the country. A sort of self-imposed exile.
Well, I'll
Only
drink to
until
that.
things cool down.
I'll drink to that.
I have arranged to travel to Europe for an undetermined amount of time.
Well, let me help you pack.
Daddy, you don't need to go. You'll be quite safe here with us, and it will give us some much-needed time together.
Do you need a lift
Oh,
to the shipyard? Because I can call it a trip.
You have helped me with so many trying times in my life, and through Mother's death. Oh, you've just been the best dad ever.
What time do you want to leave?
And now, Daddy, I have a strong feeling I'm going to need help with my marriage. Please stay.
No, my dear, I've made up my mind. My ship leaves for England the day after tomorrow.
Do you want me to get you on a ship today? Now, I just don't want your creditors to catch up with you before you leave.
Hopefully, I can return to America in a short while to restart my life.
I am sad, but I understand. You must promise to write me, and I will continue to write you each day. Oh, Daddy, I fear I will never see you again. Please be safe and come back to me as soon as you can.
So, Trader Man Burr fled to England. I don't think anyone here was upset except his many creditors. Once a trader, always a trader. He had to be a Burr once again. Since his attempt in America had failed, he tried to get the English to start a revolution in Mexico. I think he wanted to go there and set himself up as emperor. The British would have no part of it, so they kicked him out of the country and he fled to France.
Yes, I'm very well of that.
Who are you?
Don't you recognize me?
No.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, you're the short guy, Bonaparte, that lost all the wars.
I'm Napoleon Bonaparte, the greatest little princess ever known.
So why are you dressed like that?
Well, I got a lot of time to spend on the beaches. Elba Island, then St. Helena. I like the beaches. All the sun, sand. Some call it exile. I call it relaxation. Tell me, Hamilton, have you ever been surfing?
No.
Josephine and I have so much fun.
Then so why are you here?
Well, you were talking about Ellen Burr. After leaving England, he came to see me about his plans for the future.
And what were those plans?
He wanted our help in kicking the Spanish out of Mexico.
That's hardly surprising. So did you help him out?
I considered it, but I was far too busy planning my invasion of Russia and defeat of the English.
So how did that turn out? Waterloo, I was defeated.
That song. Anyway, Burr had trouble taking no for an answer. He got a lot obnoxious.
I never experienced that before.
I
identity. Then he continued in the noble profession of being an attorney.
But Hamilton, weren't you an attorney?
Yes, except I was different.
Funny, you seem just like every other attorney I have met. Arrogant, obnoxious.
On a sad note, his daughter's intuition was correct. She never saw her father again. A month after he went back to New York, she boarded a ship, sailed north along the Atlantic coast. Unfortunately, it was during the War of 1812. Neither she or any of the passengers were ever seen or heard from again.
I heard that Burr was housebroken. He kept over 2,000 letters his daughter had sent him. I think women were really special to him.
Especially when he got really, really old and they had lots and lots of money, as his next victim found out.
I'm still here.
Hello, Evita, I'm home.
In case you forgot, Aaron Burr, my name is Eliza, and I would say it's nice to have you home, but I would not be credible.
I wasn't aware that we had company. You look kind of familiar, kind of like Thomas Jefferson. Have we met before?
Not exactly, but I know many things about you, and I'm very excited to meet you, especially under these circumstances.
Okay, does somebody want to clue me in as to what's happening?
Aaron, we've been married 4 months now, and although I am 20 years younger than you,
Mrs. Burr, you look more like 30 years younger.
thank you. Although I am much younger than you, I thought this marriage would work. And despite your reputation, I thought you were a man of honor. I thought you could be trusted.
I have been a man of honor for 77 years.
77 years? Mrs. Burr, you look 40 years younger.
I swear to you, Eliza, I have been steadfastly loyal to you since our wedding. At my age, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could be unfaithful.
It is not your fidelity that I question. I'm only too aware of your bedroom abilities. No, Aaron, I've been reviewing our financial status and have found some shocking information. You have been pilfering from us from the day we were married. When we wed, I was the richest widow in the country.
And I really appreciated that.
I would say you really depreciated that. In the 4 months of our marriage, you squandered my wealth. My finances are headed toward ruin. I will tolerate it no more.
And that is why I am here.
You're her accountant?
No, I am Mrs. Burr's...
Oh, please, dear, call me Eliza from now on.
Yes. I am Eliza's divorce attorney. Mr. Burr, you said that I looked familiar to you. Let me tell you why that is so. My name is, drum roll please. Thank you. Alexander Hamilton, Jr. I believe you're familiar with my father. I would shake that hand, but that is the hand that killed my father.
This hand did not kill him. His mouth killed him. He and I had several exchanges in our life, and I regret none of them.
And I am here to not only defend Eliza's honor, but to avenge my father as well.
Aaron, a marriage is more than just physical. You said I can trust you. You said you'd take care of me. You said you love me and honor me. Why lie? Remember when I met you? Said I'd never forget you. Be the one and only. Said I'd never be lonely. Well, even then I knew it wasn't true. Shame on me, shame on you. Now it's
vacate these premises immediately. Your personal possessions will be delivered to your new residence.
It was so nice to see my son again. He is so handsome. He gets that from me. Alexander Jr. wasn't quite done with the case. He had to sort through all that Burr had pilfered from Eliza. It took a while before the final hearing came before the judge. He did a great job of getting her all the justice she deserved, and even a better job of pissing off Burr. Unfortunately, Burr had a stroke and was incapacitated. Before the case was resolved, if only he could have experienced all the pain he caused everyone else in his life. Then came the final divorce hearing.
I have reviewed the case. Does either side have anything to add before I make the final decree?
May I speak, Your Honor?
Certainly, Mr. Hamilton Jr. That's why I asked if anyone had anything to add.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, my client has suffered so much stress and pain over... My client has suffered so much stress and pain over this marriage.
I trusted that man. I believed everything he said. And then to find out he only wanted my money, that he was the most selfish man I had ever known.
We have heard all that during your testimony, Mrs. Burr.
Oh, please, dear, call me Eliza from now on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This has been so stressful for my client, but as you can see, it hasn't been that stressful for Mr. Burr.
I must concur. Anything you wish to say, Mr. Burr? Mr. Burr? Mr. Burr! Very well. It is therefore my decision that the plaintiff, Eliza, what is the last name you wish me to use?
Eliza Jamel, Your Honor.
It is my decision that this day, the 14th of September, 1836, that the plaintiff, Eliza Jamel's petition for divorce is granted, and she be awarded all remaining assets of the marriage. That is all.
Finally, I have my revenge, my justice. What do you have to say about that, Aaron? You can't even look me in the eye. You're such a coward.
That may be so, but... Oh, Burr, he's cold. And he's dead. Oh, well.
Now he can come with me. He's mine.
Ha! Can you believe it? The day his divorce becomes final, he dies. I don't think one single solitary person was upset. Women are so dramatic.
At least Aaron was finally done with the trauma of sitting before a judge.
On the contrary, he still had the trial with the big guy, you know, up there. That didn't go so well. He now lives in my neighborhood. Burr, he's not so cold.
At least I can visit him from time to time.
And so his life on earth had ended, and thus ended the story of the most vile, treasonous, deceitful man in all of American history. My name is Alex Hamilton. You should all know me by now.
No. Don't ever sing again, especially with that crappy beat. You are wrong. Many loved my father, and he was instrumental in the development of this great country. Oh, he was so proud of this nation, and so proud to be an American!